Welcome to my show. Welcome to my channel. I want to try and just keep this a short video about the rainbow prophecy because it is as above so below, and it reflects a lot with the sun that comes out of the water every day and the transmutation of the inner and outer as above so below. There's a lot of spiritual manipulation and confusion when it comes into the numerology and the universe and planets, and because no one can feel exactly what things are when it comes to the prophecies and being realigned with the one rainbow tribe, because it is one rainbow tribe of unity, of returning back to the rainbow. But there's so much confusion. It is Turtle Island. It is the rainbow prophecy, and all timelines have happened here. But it's an inner coordinates of understanding, of standing in the center point of your symbols of the sun cross, the medicine wheel, and your animals. Because it's through your third eye, through your three eyes, that you can see what the ancient ones saw in a higher frequency. So being able to see through the concrete jungles and everything that has overlapped the true frequency of Mother Earth, the whole East Coast and so forth. There is a path, but if you're talking about you see the sun rising, because you have to reflect your frequency, your chakras. So when the sun rises in the east, you have to look at the colors of what it is. You have blue water, you have a gold sun. See, the sun is gold, red, and orange. Okay? In the eastern sense, as it rises. But when it rises out of the water, before the gold sun rises, the red fire rises above the water. So you're looking at the alchemical mixtures in Hermes lab that are taking place in the fire, the water, mercury, salt, sulfur, and what the strands, in a sense of Samson's locks, coming out of the water. But the manipulation, people talking about the beast, and they're talking about this Atlantic, ancient timeline in the water that people are confused about. So the transmutation of the lower realms, the red fire, your red chakra, and then you go into your sacral, which is the orange, and then you have your gold. This is all the rising sun in the east. Red, gold, orange, and blue. See, that's people can't see the blue. Water is invisible. So what's the difference? So the sun comes out of the water. Is it really coming out of the water? Because water is also invisible. So as you're looking at the sun above, isn't it actually below too? Because that's the as above, so below. Within and without. Because that sun above you is also within you. Because it's your chakras. It's the porthole within the belly. You know, in the feminine aspect, we'll put it. You know, men have it too, but it's part of what is taking place in the lower realms in the east, past timelines, outside of the temple. That's the thing of this Atlantis, Lemurian timeline, crossroads from one realm to another. Because there's no more lower realms. So when you're talking on the Kundalinis, and if you were to turn this map sideways to realign the poles, the magnetic poles of the Kundalinis, it's going up. So the sun in the east, rising red, is kind of the south, more of a southeast direction. But this is all inner coordinates within the circle, medicine wheel, sun cross, you know, the blueprints to the temple. So as the sun rises, transmutes, comes out of the underworld, out of the darkness. It goes from black, the dark, to red, orange, golden. So then as the sun travels, because you have the Ouroboros, you have the emerald ray, you have your heart chakras. Let's see, what's the first color truly that bypasses out of your belly? What's the first chakra out of your belly? It's your emerald ray. Okay, it's your heart chakra. Archangel Raphael, you know, your green heart chakra. You know, they'll put it in the form of Thoth and the emerald tablets, which is a bunch of bullshit, because it's really Hermes tablet, and Thoth is not Hermes, and that book is fake, because that's all over there in Egypt. Fake storyline, because there's many shades of green, and it's not just an emerald. You have jade, you know, there's peridot, Peridote, which is the first stone out of the volcano. So that, in true form, because as you're traveling, you know, out of Philly, because that's the porthole. But if you go down south and you got the Carolinas, and you know, and people don't, you know, you got mica, the stone of mica glass, they used to use in the temples. Because over here, you know, and all this, you got the mercury line, and the mercury used to come up. The sun would come up, shine up through the water at these temples, and they would use the mica in the temples as the sun would be shining up to reflect a rainbow in the sky. Because as you would see today, as above so below, within the churches in medieval times, and you look at the churches in Europe and stuff where they use stained glass, and the stained glass shines the sun from above the into the church, the rainbow glass into the church. So if you were to reverse that, and if you take it back to Florida, Greek times, and where there were temples built on top of the water, because there's a mountain on top of the water, Turtle Island, and there used to be, what do they call them? You go into the temple, you go into the warm water, and so forth. But it's all about the water. It's about the sacred water. And I think they call them grottos or whatever. But, in the temple, in the water, there would be the feminine giving birth in the water, with the dolphins, just like you would think within Greece, in that aspect. But it's all about the rainbow within, and that's part of being part of Mother Earth, of what was here. So as you're traveling east to west, you go through Pennsylvania, you have Tribe of Judah. It's the entrance point into, because there should be a Sphinx and a temple in Lancaster, and this is what the real battles have been, of getting into the temple, because where you see there's no temples is the entrance point. So the Tribe of Judah being Pennsylvania, and the dragon line, as you see here, Finger Lakes. But as you go, you're going west, you got Utah, and it's the whole thing of Judah. But the Tribe of Judah being reflecting Scotland and Ireland, and the magic of the unicorn and the lion and the serpent, dragon, the Naga people. That is the Mithras, the Kundalini, and the lion-faced dragon symbolism. It's a totem pole in that timeline. So it all depends on what animals you have within your culture to reflect that, because in Mayan they have the panther. So if you look at the tiger, and you look at different cats, same thing with the dog, when they reflect Anubis. And there's different types of dogs for different cultures, but it all reflects back to the dog star, So, but as you're traveling west, people can't see and reflect where, because they say, where they found gold. They give the people that where they first place they found gold, being in Northern California, and you have South Lake Tahoe, and you have Emerald Bay, and you have the frequencies of the heart chakra, which reflects the Emerald Ray. Northern California, the Emerald Triangle, and people talk about Mount Shasta. So you're looking at this Native American line going out to Hawaii through Mount Shasta. This is the entrance point into the Hyperborealis, into the temple, into stuff like that. Is not across the pond or anywhere else. It is here in the northeast of America. through the mouth of the lion, Finger Lakes, and so forth, because there's a porthole from, Atlantis to Lemuria, but it's a road traveled. And so once you get out to, everything north, of I-80, because I-80 reflecting, a lot of symbolism, 144 in true reality, but Pleiadian line and everything north up into Canada being the entrance into the Hyperborealis in the frequency scale. But it's traveling west, you have, because when you get back into the mercury in the water, and the mercury in Hermes' lab, it transforms into gold, because the mercury is gold, and that's what people don't understand. But there's the higher frequencies, because this is the transformation of the water, because the water, the ice, the salt, sulfur, it's a shield. The mercury in the water is a shield to the white animals, the purity of the animals. And so you have the purity of the animals, and everything is a color. Everything is based on colors, and that's where you got the white lotus and the rainbow lotus and red rose and pink rose, and all of these colors that are on pedestal. Mainly the red rose at this point. It's just the red rose's blood. There's a sacrifice blood on the white rose. There's the blood on the lamb, blood on the purity. And that's not the way it is and the way it should be. So this is the alchemy that is being fixed of too much fire, and bringing the balance back of the pink rose and the pink flame and the blue flame, but these are higher frequencies that are beyond anybody's wisdom today, because one must understand the heart chakra, and because the first color out of the ocean, is green, or when gold and blue makes green. But when the sun rises, you have these lower energies. And that's what this early morning, 3 a.m., 4 a.m., milking the cow, collecting the eggs from the chickens, sacred animals to feed you through your day. But the heart chakra, the emerald ray of Mother Earth, the rainbow, people talk on hippie times and the rainbow, and came out of San Francisco. But there's a beginning point of the rainbow, and there's an ending point, but it's a circle, and it goes round and round, but it's the prophecy. So the transmutation of the lower realms, and if there's no more lower chakras, you have the gold and you have the blue in your belly, and that transmutes into the green. But see, there's always water. There's water everywhere. And you have to have water in painting. And since the mercury transforms into gold out of the lower realms, out of the water, gold grows, just like crystals. Okay? But it's within. So you got to look at it in the spiritual sense, within your chakras, within your belly of your sun cross and the Kundalini, mercury-based, realchemized transmutation of the Holy Temple, of Divine Mother's creation. And coming up into your heart chakra, because there's the dance of two waters, two serpents. One's warm, one's cold. And you got the transmutation of the red and the blue. The red and the blue being the water and the fire. That must be balanced within oneself of what you see outside of Babylon. One must exit Babylon, exit the lower realms of oneself, of what you see reflecting outside. Because there are no more lower realms. The door has been closed, the Lion's Gate, the Ouroboros. The door is shut to heaven. But no one can get through the Lion's Gate, the Emerald Ray, because everyone looks at their chakras and the rainbow, and only their chakras. And they may have heard of the pink flame or the pink high heart, but people don't understand what it reflects when it comes to Mary and when it comes to Rosicrucians. And pink is not a color. It's not in your heart chakra. It's not in your rainbow. It's a transmutation, a frequency of creation. Because you have your red, your orange, your gold, your green, your blue, purple, whatever, violet. But the first is the transmutation of the red and the blue into the violet flame of oneself. Then you transmute and understand your heart chakra. Because when your heart chakra opens and that flame comes in, you'll know. Then you have the pink ray. That's where the rose crux, the pink flame behind the Rosicrucians, behind the cross of the daughter and the dragon meet. Where does it meet? Here, in the northeast. The rose crux, rose cross, and the dragon cross. Green and pink. But you have to understand, because you're traveling west, you look at South Lake Tahoe, Emerald Bay. But what is under the emerald? It's gold. It's the El Dorado. It's the Golden Kingdom. But they came out of the east, destroyed and battled for hundreds of years, thousands of years, between Atlantis and Lemuria, and all this crap. And you can see, if you have eyes to see, the crystal pyramids and what is truly here within the realms of returning the corn, the yellow brick road, the golden staff of enlightenment. Because there's a standing rainbow and there's standing corn within the water, within oneself, because the gold comes out of the water and must be transmuted with all the frequencies. The red, say it's too much. But there's no more, everyone looks at the Nagis and, you can look at 3NDs and the whole thing of the what once was. We are in Asia. This is why there's dragon worship in America. And we have returned to the land of the dragons, land of the rainbow serpents. So we come in, but no one can enter here anymore. No one can enter. They've been locked out. No more. Mother Earth is not in the realm, you see.